Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. It's been a very hectic week in terms of major Star Wars movie updates, and today that continues. Reliable insider Jeff Snyder has blown our assumptions about the Rey film and about Dave Filoni's movie out of the water. He's cleared up any confusion and set the record straight, while also providing us an update on a Star Wars film which hasn't had too many updates since we learned it was happening. More on this in just a minute. But I do want to preface this by stating I'm giving Jeff the benefit of the doubt. He was absolutely spot on about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, weeks before it was even announced. His sources were correct in stating The Mandalorian is coming to the big screen, but before Filoni's film, and he was right. He begins by clarifying the rumours of an indefinite delay or cancellation of the Rey movie by Sharmeen Obaid are wrong, and he says this: the movie is not in jeopardy and is proceeding at a normal pace for the studio. In fact, Steven Knight is set to deliver his new draft soon. And not only this, it is still on track for 2026. But what Jeff Snyder believes is going to happen is the Mandalorian movie is going to come first in May of 2026, with the Daisy Ridley movie coming that same December. 2 Star Wars movies coming in the same year. And then, he reveals something massive. Daisy Ridley's paycheck is $12.5 million for that film. And he also teases more talent from The Force Awakens is being courted for similarly fat stacks. I think we can deduce this is John Boyega, and despite his recent comments about not returning to Star Wars, Adam Driver as Ben Solo's Force Ghost. I can also imagine Kelly Marie Tran and Oscar Isaac. And the next piece of information seems to validate some rumours we spoke about a few months ago. Daisy Ridley, the character of Rey, is also set to appear in Shawn Levy's Star Wars film, one we know very little about, but there have been rumours that was going to be a Ben Solo project, a Kylo Ren movie. If Shawn Levy's movie is going to be a sequel to the one by Sharmeen Obaid, anything is possible. Could you imagine if they bring Ben Solo back as a Force Ghost? There was a rumour a year ago which is kind of unpopular. What if Ben Solo is resurrected? It goes against the ways of the Jedi. If you remember, Master Yoda says, do not mourn those who are dead, but be happy for them because they've passed on in the Force. But a handful of sequel fans speculated a resurrection could be possible because Rey and Ben Solo are part of a Force dyad. This could open up more than one possibility for Ben's return. Because he transferred the last of his life essence into Rey, as confirmed in the Episode 9 novelization, it's possible his spirit lives on through her. Very similar to what Palpatine was trying to do with Rey, but Ben may have done it without realizing. Such a feat would be fascinating to explore, especially if it opens up possibilities which differ to traditional Force ghosts. Maybe this kind of Force resurrection is what Rey is trying to do in the first film. We covered this next point a couple of days ago, but Daisy did say that she was taken aback when she learnt about the plot of the upcoming film. You'd have to figure it's something quite crazy, quite wild, maybe taking a few creative risks. And this could relate to Force-related discoveries, which are going to be part of what she described as taking Star Wars in a new direction. Her excitement speaks volumes to how ingrained her recently promoted Jedi Master character is as part of her career, but also the amount she's getting for this role is not going to hurt either. Good for her. But regardless, Rey seems to be here to stay, and is going to be central to Shawn Levy's Star Wars film, which he said he's very excited to work on, but he still has many other priorities to do first. So if these rumours are to be believed, we have the Mandalorian movie by Jon Favreau in May of 2026, Daisy Ridley's Star Wars film in December of 2026, and then Jeff Snyder says Dave Filoni's Mandalorian movie, which is going to be an Infinity Endgame style thing, isn't going to be before 2028, and in fairness to Lucasfilm, they never said it was coming sooner. Ahsoka Season 2 needs to happen first, and presumably Mando 4, Jon Favreau's Mando movie, which is The Mandalorian and Grogu, Skeleton Crew, maybe another Mandoverse project. There was a rumoured one called Ghost Trek 17, and Dave's film is going to wrap up this phase of Mando, bringing with it the battle between Thrawn and the New Republic. Now, BestSpinBulletin.com did a fantastic job summarising the various updates and seeing if they match what they've heard. On the Shawn Levy front, they say this: Snyder isn't definitively saying Daisy is part of the Shawn Levy film, but that she might be, it's a possibility. We don't know in what capacity Rey would feature, but both Daisy and Kathleen Kennedy have hinted we might be in for another trilogy. On the Filoni front, they say this: in a piece by The Hollywood Reporter from last year, The outlet shared they believed the Filoni effort would release a year after the Rey film being directed by Sharmeen Obaid, and that Filoni's movie was dependent on the production and release of a 4th season of Mando. Since that time, things have changed, with questions hanging over the possibility of a 4th season of Mando, as Lucasfilm are prioritizing Jon Favreau's flick, announced just a week ago, The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is due to enter production this year, and that Filoni's priority is not his movie, but Ahsoka Season 2. If we're going off the past tidbit from the HR and apply what we think we know today, you'd assume the Filoni Mandalorian film would not release until December of 2027. But Jeff Snyder says, not even that is realistic. Snyder was the first one to reveal that Dave Filoni was directing a Star Wars movie, even before Star Wars Celebration 2023, where the official announcement happened. And even back then, he heard 2028. He is sticking with that date. The possibility might surprise some readers, because it definitely surprised Bespin and myself. And a very interesting theory that Bespin posits is that Star Wars doesn't want to release movies in the same year as an Avatar film. They don't want the competition. And so with Avatar movies releasing next December 2025, then 2029, and December 2031, Lucasfilm is going to work around those windows. So those, my dear friends, are the major movie announcements. And so now, moving on to our next topic, I want to speak a little bit about Star Wars comics. I've often covered some of the major issues. Marvel Comics has really been expanding the time period between Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, and Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Some of those early issues were fantastic, but I think at this point they've kind of run everything into the ground. A lot of the story's been diluted, and fans have been voicing their opinions. And just when we thought it was over, Charles Soule has given us an update saying, there's more to come. He's saying in April we're getting another title. Here is the full thing. Star Wars comics and Marvel will remain a big part of my workload. I just turned in issue number 47, which concludes the trial of Lando Calrissian. 48 is next up, and then a very cool surprise thing we're doing for issue 50. I'll have much more to say about my time on the main title once we hit issue number 50. You might be thinking there can't be too many stories left that we can legitimately tell set between episode 5 and 6. Stay tuned. Oh ye of little faith. We've got some Tibanna in the tank yet. I should start an all-new Star Wars title around Aprilish. This is one I've wanted to do for a long time, which I think you folks have wanted me to do for a long time too. It's all approved-ish, and I really, really want to do it, but sometimes things fall apart. Cross your fingers. This is from his newsletter. They've already done a lot with Kira. They've done a lot with the droids, the dark droids, Palpatine, Coruscant, Lando, Boba Fett, other bounty hunters. I think it's time you bring that stuff into, The Mandalorian, Disney Plus content. But share your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. What do you think? And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.